Wayne Larrivee joins us now, voice of the Green Bay Packers. He is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Wayne, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Doing good. Baker Mayfield comes to town, and his last two visits to Lambeau Field have been bad for him, which I'm delighted by. He is 0-2 in those two trips. He's thrown 5 picks, and he has a passer rating somewhere in the 50s. Woof. Will he be different this time around? Of your extensive prep for the game, how has he looked to you this year for the Buccaneers?
He's looked pretty solid, Czabe. I've watched their last 3 games. I'm in the process of watching their last 2 games for the second time. He's pretty solid. Not doing anything crazy. I remember when he came in on Christmas Day with the Browns, I think he gift wrapped 3 interceptions at least in that game. And then last year with the Rams coming off a stunning victory over the Chargers the previous week, he struggled against the Packers in Lambeau Field. Hopefully that happens again this week. But for the season, he's looked very good. This offense seems to fit him well, the offense they're trying to run in Tampa Bay.
Okay, one of our tick-pack-go things is Evans and Godwin versus any 2 Packer pass catchers for total yards. Those 2 guys are pretty good monsters at wide receiver. They can hurt you. Your thoughts on, is there anything they can do to kind of keep Evans from going off on you?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that because Evans has had some ups and downs against the Packers in the past. Jair Alexander, you would figure, would get that assignment almost exclusively if Jair was healthy, and he's really not been this year. So I imagine they'll probably play. I know people are going to get mad about this, but they'll probably have to play a little more shell coverage, maybe an extra safety back deep to try to double team or at least put a safety over the top of these guys as you go along. Evans is still one of the great receivers in the league. Chris Godwin's had, it's funny. His year has been very strange. There are times when they don't get the ball to him, and he's been barking about it a little bit. So we'll see how it goes, but I would anticipate you're not going to see as much single high safety as you have from the Packers recently. And now comes the other problem, the running game. And, can they shut down the running game without loading up the box? And that's been tough. And this Rashad, the running back that they have, his name is White.
Yeah,
White.
White.
Rashad White is the running back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's the guy. Can you spell Rashad? There's the question for you this morning. Butch, you want to take a crack at it?
No, I need a pronunciation. Rashaad.
They have a bunch of them like that. They have a bunch of guys.
It's Rachaad.
I had that. I just had the S instead of the
yeah, Rashad. It's Rashad.
Or Kapa. That's not even in Vegas.
Pam thing.
They've got some interesting names on this team, to say the least.
And good players.
Good players. Well, let's talk about that because the Tampa Bay's defense has been so good. I know a lot of Packer fans remember a couple of those Tampa Bay defense. Are they as good as they were a couple of years ago? Where does this defense stand, and are they going to give any challenges to this Packers offense?
No, they're not as good as they were certainly back in the Super Bowl run. But they are still very good, capable. They're 13th in scoring, but they're giving up a lot of yards. They're still good against the run, very good against the run, and the Packers may be limited there offensively this week with A.J. Dillon with that thumb injury, and we don't know about Aaron Jones' status, and we'll find out a little maybe today. But they're very good against the run. They're struggling to stop the pass, which is kind of unusual. Carlton Davis, who's their lead cornerback, has really not had a great season at all, though he played better last week. And then on the other side, Jamel Dean has been out most of the season. So they've got a quandary stopping the pass, but against the run, they've been solid.
When you look at this team, what's the biggest challenge you see for the Packers to get a win?
I think obviously containing those 2 wide receivers, but I also think underlining that will be the ability of Tampa to run the football. If the Buccaneers can run the football in this ball game, that's going to make it real tough because then they can do some play action with Baker Mayfield as the game goes on. Buccaneers are not a great running team. Rashad White is a good running back, but he's more of a receiver than a runner, and they're only getting 90 yards rushing per game. But of late, They've been over 123 yards a game in their last 3. So this is a team that they will go at the Packers. They will start on the ground and then work those receivers in.
Wayne, I don't think Jair has lied to anyone as of late. Do you have any idea what his status is going to be and what we can expect from Jair if he does play on Sunday?
Yeah, you know what, Josh? This is the perplexing injury of the year for the Packers, and it's perplexed everyone from the coaching staff to the medical staff. He's practiced this week. They say limited bases. I haven't been to practice. I don't know how much he's done. I'll be going tomorrow. But, you just don't know how that injury is going to play out. Before it was a back injury. Now it's a shoulder. He is practiced, limited over the course of these weeks, but hasn't played in the games. So I honestly don't know what his status would be, and I don't know if anybody does.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Reggie White documentary this week?
No, I didn't get a chance to see that yet. I'm T-voted. I want to make sure I watch that. What did you guys think of it?
Oh, it was tremendous stuff. Now, you started in 99 with the Packers. You were, of course, our bitter rival with the Bears prior to that. So you saw Reggie on both sides of it. But your remembrance of Reggie White when you were calling games when he was there till, what was it, 2004, I believe, that he finally retired?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just a dominant player. He and Brown in Philadelphia, those two guys, when they were playing for Buddy Ryan, they were just tremendous.
Brown, yeah.
They
were a terror. I told Armin, Wayne, I go, watching those old highlights of him and Jerome Brown, as a Redskin fan at the time, you would dread the Eagles the 2 dates you played them because they were just relentless. And I said it must have felt like Packer fans felt about the Bears, right?
Yeah,
when
in
the Bears were running roughshod on the Packers in the 80s. It was that existential dread of these guys are not just going to beat us. They're going to kick our ass.
Yeah, and they're going to beat you up. I mean, you hope you have somebody eligible to play after that. Yeah,
right.
I mean, Reggie was great. And the other thing, Czabe, that when I got there in 99, and Reggie had just retired. And they had a ceremony at Lambeau Field at halftime of one of the games. It was the Monday night game against Seattle, and Ron Wolf asked me to do the MC on that, and I did, and got to meet Reggie a little bit and his family, and just a wonderful guy. And then later we saw him in Carolina when Mike Sherman brought him in to speak with the team when the Packers played the Carolina Panthers down there, and he was in, Reggie lived in Charlotte. So just a wonderful man, just a kind human being, and I'll always remember that aspect about him. But of course, on the field, he was something else.
Retired in 90. Well, left the Packers in 98. Played one more year in Carolina in 2000 after a year off. I got my dates mixed up. He passed in 2004. Those were the timing on that. But it's a good piece. I think you will definitely appreciate it. Before I let you go today, I got to ask. Look at Wayne's typewriter, Butchie.
I saw the same. I'm so glad you
shoulder.
brought that up. That's the first time I saw it. I was
Vintage
like, I was waiting for you to bring it up. I love
This is a great look. This is a new look for your room. RateMyRoom.com. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. What is that vintage typewriter? And did you once use it, Wayne?
No, that was my mom's typewriter back in the day. Yeah.
She was a Smith Corona. Who makes it?
Smith, I believe it's Smith Corona. Yeah.
Okay.
She was
a
secretary for the town of Lee in the town hall, and that was her typewriter back then. So yeah, it's a throwback, guys.
Can you actually use it? Have you tried using it?
Oh yeah, it still works. It still works, but no, I haven't used it much at all. But no, and you remember back in the day we used to have correctors
boards.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
All right. Do you have I know you don't do predictions, but I need a Wayne Larrivee vibe check for the game. What's your vibe check?
I feel good about this game. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do feel good about this game. I think the Packers can match up with this team pretty well. If they can do something to contain the run a little bit and just keep those receivers at bay. Baker Mayfield, if they can make him be patient, maybe they can pick him off a couple of times. I think they'll play better offensively. The Packers have got to play better offensively than they did in New Jersey, and I think they will. They'll rebound in that regard. So I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game, but I look for the Packers to come out on top.
All right. Very good. Wayne, have a great call. We will hear you. We'll, of course, be out there as part of our pregame festivities outside the Resch Center, and we'll chat on Monday.
Sounds good, guys. Look forward to it. Have a good weekend.